covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Breaking news.
A man in Forest Ranch believes his home hardening efforts saved his house from the park fire.
Action News Now reporter Sade Pullen shows us what he did to make it much more fire resistant.
This house right behind me in Forest Ranch was almost caught in the crossfire of the park fire. But luckily it was spared with sprinklers and a fenceable space.
Even though I got 200 feet of clearance back here, and you're supposed to have 100, fire doesn't care about the defensible space.
For more than a week, the park fire has rattled the Butte and Tehama communities, with many people taking extra precautions to make sure they're safe. And John Blankish is no different. He tells me that he believes that his massive sprinkler system saved his house from the destructive flames. He even had outdoor cameras catching the flames near his property. He says that on the first day of the park fire, he noticed that the flames were in the Canyon and Cohasset area. And he says he just had to do something with his sprinklers.
Then on the second day, it wrapped around and came back our way. And we were getting warnings and we were getting orders. And so we kept abreast of it that way. But I said, I'm just going to saturate this thing as much as I can.
Now take a look at this. I want to show you guys how close this fire was to this property right here. It's merely just night and day. This is the beautiful property right here. And then if I turn my camera, you will see some of the park fire right here in Forest Ranch. And you can see it's cloudy, dark, ashes. It was this close to his house. But Blankish says sprinklers were not the only thing that saved his home. He says defensible space and his rock barrier that blocks the fire on the ground from reaching the house directly also played a role. I asked him if he feels like defensible space is enough.
Yeah, I don't think defensible space is good enough. It's your first step.
Do you recommend the sprinkler system to other people so they could prevent their home from being affected by a wildfire?
Absolutely. Yep. I got a row of tanks under there. I got 10,000 gallons. I got a pump that can run off PG&E or my dual generator.
Blankish says the areas that were not saturated with water from the sprinkler were burnt by sparks, but most of the area around his home was spared, which he says he's thankful for. Reporting in Forest Ranch, I'm Sade Pullen with Action News Now.
Now, he says that he also was a firefighter in the 90s for a few years, and he said fire science is something that he will always be interested in.